Hi, my name is Gabe Arnold. I'm the founder and CEO of Business Marketing Engine. And today we're going to talk about 3 secrets of top content producers that will surprise you. I'm going to share some of the things that I do. I'm going to share what I've learned from other amazing content producers. And they're all things that can help you really get your brand out there, really get your message out there to the folks that you want to serve. So stay tuned and I'll share these with you. I remember when I first started doing the show, I was recording every single episode live and streaming it live. And that worked well in the beginning because it really helped me kind of get my content down, my style and my voice. But I pretty quickly realized that if I was going to record every single day, it was disruptive, it was a challenge, it was difficult. And with a shorter, podcast like this, to break out 10 minutes of my day, seemed like it would be easy to fit in, which it technically was. But I realized that shifting my focus to creating content, to teaching about something and sharing something valuable that I want to share with you, ended up just kind of disrupting my day and throwing my energy off. And as I was working through that, I remember hearing about a guy that created a podcast, John Lee Dumas, which maybe you've heard of, called Entrepreneur on Fire. The show is fairly old at this point, but I remember when I sat down and talked to him years ago in person, he told me, oh, I batch, 15 or 20 episodes in a day. And that way I think he only recorded Monday and Tuesday, and the rest of the week he was able to do other things because he had a 7-day-a-week daily show. And as I remembered that, I was like, oh, like that's what really aggressive top content producers do. And so I'm going to implement that as well. And so now I batch record my show. I have 2 different shows that I do on a daily basis. I have other shows that I do record and stream live. Today's Business Leaders is typically always streamed live. But this show, I batch record and then we stream later. And what that allows me to do is really zone in for a couple hours each week, produce all the content, share things sequentially, and it works a lot better. And so that's the first thing I would encourage you to do is when creating content, whether it's video content or written content, emails, blogs, anything you're putting out there, sit down and batch the creation of it. And that way you can drip it out over time and you can really be focused and intentional about what you're creating. But you don't have to invest time on a daily basis, which can become disruptive the more content you're putting out there. The second secret of top content producers that I've learned and that I do a little bit of, and I'm actually growing in, but I see really strong content, marketers do this. It's something I definitely encourage you to explore, is they actually reuse their content every 6 to 12 months typically. I have a client who's really strong in this. We help them create all their content, whether it's their social media content and other things like that. And then they end up using it, for 3 to 6 months. And then they cycle through again the same content because they realize that they have new audience members, that not everybody sees all our content that goes out there, which is, pretty obvious with the algorithms on social platforms and search engines and everywhere else that we post. And so by putting the same content out there, you actually save time and you're still reaching your audience and still serving them, which is really important. The third thing that ties directly into that piece as well is top content producers actually monitor what performs the best. And then they do 2 things. They create more of that content, and then they also recycle that content. Some of the best content marketers that I follow really closely, I'll put them on like a see first list or, get a notification whenever they post. And I noticed that they mix in their top performing content multiple times over the course of a few months, and they'll repost it. They might put a slightly different description on a video, or they may just re-promote something they wrote to their email list, or they may share it again. And that's really how you can be effective and intelligent and, strategic in the content you put out there. Because if you think you have to create something brand new over and over and over, then ultimately you're going to burn yourself out. You're not going to have the time to focus on what really is producing results and getting traction and getting shared and viewed and engaged with. And you can just get too busy in batching out content or creating things on a daily basis. And so one of the things that we do is we track every email that goes out. We see the opens it gets, the clicks it gets. We can track what's performing, and that allows us to reuse content from that. It allows us to do similar things It really gives us a simple tracking mechanism that says, okay, this subject line performs really well here, or this content people really enjoy and they click through on. And so by setting into your kind of normal operational habit, having a weekly and then even a monthly content review, you can see here's the things that are getting traffic. Here's where people are commenting, engaging. This is getting the most views. You can just take time to evaluate and then identify, oh, I talked about this topic again. It seems like people in my audience really like this. Or we use this approach to the content or this style or whatever it might be, and that got more engagement. By monitoring those things, we can leverage it and do more of it instead of just mindlessly producing, which I've fallen into that trap and it doesn't really move things forward. And so if you're looking at creating content, the first thing I would encourage you to do is set a schedule that you can be consistent with. If that starts with once a week, that's fine, and build up over time. Ultimately, putting daily content out is a great idea with the way that getting attention is such a key part of our marketing, but set a consistent schedule. And then once you have that, batch your content. You can record more, you can write more, you can do more in longer blocks, and then you can drip it out. The second thing is reuse your content. And you do that by the third step we talked about, by paying attention to what really performs so that you can reuse those pieces, but you can also create more content around the things that really perform well. And by putting those 3 secrets of top content producers in place in your content marketing, you're going to have a much higher impact. You're going to be able to see consistency over time. You're going to see the results, and people are going to continue to get to know you at a deeper level. And the result that we get from that is when people get to know us and they understand how we operate, who we are, our process, what we believe, all of that, they trust us more. And when they trust us more, they're much quicker to get on a call with us, take that first step, opt into something that can help them move forward. And so all this week, we're talking about content marketing. It's one of the things that we help our clients with here. And just as a free gift, as a listener to the show, if you message me content marketing, or you head over to businessmarketingengine.com and message that you want a content marketing review, I will gladly get on the phone with you, take a look at what you're doing, give you any input or advice, and make sure that you are really getting max value from your content marketing. I appreciate you taking time to tune in today, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show.